Chapter 860. In the demon-like visage before him, Sun recalled the appearance of Yther Ale, which he had seen with his own eyes, yet found hard to believe. Covered in blood, Yther stood as something far beyond the comprehension of an ordinary human. How could a person not fall, not cry out in pain, or even remain unflinching in such a state? The sight was shocking and terrifying, yet they all felt a frustrating inability to explain their feelings. The nature of these emotions was clearly articulated by Kana. Everyone here feels ashamed and infuriated. Yes, that was true. Suns and Emma felt ashamed. They thought they had fought hard, but in retrospect, they had merely hidden behind the cavalry and taken the easy tasks. Had they, since awakening their powers, ever fought with all their might like Yther Ale, even once risking their own bodies to the brink of destruction? Had they ever volunteered for the more dangerous and arduous tasks, leaving the easier ones to others? Had they sincerely considered that those in higher positions should bear more responsibility and shed more blood? They had not even once. They only realized this fact after seeing the battered Yther and the cavalry commander standing beside them. Their clean clothes unstained by blood, their unharmed limbs, and lives spared by others' sacrifices, it was unbearably shameful. Who was Yther Ale again? The benefactor who showed the way forward for them, who lived each day in mundane misery, unable to die. He had taught them not to underestimate their powers and had treated their promotions as deserved without jealousy or caution. Yet, even in his dire state, Yther Ale had made unbelievable efforts to resolve the cracks and monsters. Disappointed in themselves for almost retreating in fear at his mere appearance, Suns and Aemon fought harder than ever. Although still less crazed than the cavalry members around them, their shame grew as their fear seemed to numb away. They unleashed emotions they didn't even know had been building up, finding strength in their outburst. What are you doing? I won't let anyone retreat even a step. Open your eyes. You are proud members of the Empire's Special Forces. This is your duty. The Special Forces, who had joined the cavalry from the southern branch, were initially startled by the shouts of their captain, but soon they too roared fiercely. Initially, when the unit had just formed and trained a few times, they were apprehensive, unsure of how far and how to use their abilities, especially since most of the other Imperial forces were non-awakeners and they were conscious of their gaze. But today was different. Influenced by the cavalry, the special forces no longer hesitated to use their powers when needed. I can hardly believe this isn't a dream but reality. Indeed, General Gino. General Gino, holding his sword, shook his head in disbelief. His adjutant, Meghna, usually composed, was half lost in shock. In their view, groups of cavalry members and Empire soldiers in uniform, without distinction, were throwing themselves into battle, unleashing their abilities. Fire and water surged, and all sorts of dazzling powers, barely visible to the eye, targeted the enemy. Some transformed their bodies into stone in an instant, while others wielded parts of their altered forms instead of swords to strike down monsters. Light burst forth, and then pitch-black darkness engulfed the monsters. Arrows, formless yet precise, pierced their vital spots. The wind gathered hail into a small storm, and winged beings flew above, capturing the hurling monsters into it. As a child, lying in bed, he had heard tales from the adults about the magic era 1,000 years ago. Watching these incredible powers being wielded effortlessly by human bodies, he found it hard to believe. Even though he himself was a sword master capable of wielding aura, he was still amazed. Watching this surreal and unfamiliar scene, the old general chuckled softly. When I first heard Duke Paleta's words and saw this horde of monsters, I thought my old body would finally meet its end here. But seeing this, I'm ashamed to have thought so. His life had been lived steadfastly guarding the Empire's heartland, which made certain things clear. The nobles grew increasingly obsessed with their own gain, uncaring for the nation or its people, who were exhausted and dying from exploitation, dreaming of escape. The imperial family, powerless, floundered without achieving meaningful results, while the few righteous individuals were overwhelmed by merely maintaining the positions. General Gino had thought perhaps there was no hope left for this empire. Was it just the empire? Everywhere he looked, the world seemed the same, decaying, with new things being suppressed and any sprouts of hope trampled before they could grow. Powerful mages dwindled, and despite diligent training, no new sword masters emerged. There were times he felt everyone might have given up, caring only for their own lives as accumulated frustration and helplessness turned their interest away from the world, desiring only to detach from everything but themselves. Yet, the old general persisted, ashamed to show the children born into this world a more broken and fallen state than it already was. Holding his position, he did all he could to teach his successors, knowing nothing but the sword. That was his way. But did he truly believe the world would improve? No. He was content if it could just maintain its current state. Clutching his age-old beloved sword, the general felt its aura, brighter than it had been in a long time, illuminating the blade in a vivid blue light. The last request Kishir had made came to mind. General, there is no need to exert yourself commanding the cavalry. Let them act freely. And you, for today, I hope you show yourself as the Empire's greatest swordsman. Is that too much to ask? The young Duke, pale and bloodied, had spoken those words with feigned calmness. Gino always vividly remembered the beautiful young man from his childhood. He was one of the most painfully promising, yet destined to be broken and lost. Always burdened with guilt for not having helped someone who was virtually expelled from the palace, General Gino had rejoiced immensely upon learning that this person had blossomed in a place where no one could protect him and had returned. How could he possibly refuse such a person's request? Taking a deep breath, General Gino raised his sword, while Meghna bit her lip and followed closely at his side. General, please be careful. Of course. Initially, Meghna had tried to dissuade General Gino from fighting himself instead of commanding. Her opinion was that they should wait for more reinforcements, including Galaxantre and the special brigades, who were yet unseen. That bastard! He doesn't have a gall. He is the type of person who would actually run away. Meghna, you need to open your eyes. But how could they ignore those already battling while waiting for the others to arrive? The Special Forces soldiers mixed in the fray were also under General Gino's command and responsibility. General Gino smiled at his devoted disciple who had strived for so long to meet his expectations. Meghna was someone who had given up much due to the pressure of succeeding her master as a sword master. Yet, the general knew her real talent lay more in command than in swordsmanship. Perhaps he could teach her today that she had qualities surpassing even those of her master, who was more confident in swordsmanship than in command. I will be back, Meghna. I will leave the rest to you. As the old general walked, not ran, his sword shimmered with aura. Moments later, a group of monsters charging at him were cleanly bisected by his controlled yet breathtakingly powerful aura.